Good afternoon. This is Sunshine Report on Osrc Television. My name is Remy Allen. Adequate attention must be paid to proper waste disposal and stoppage of further construction of waterways to reduce the prevalence of flooding in Ondo State. The State Project Coordinator of Ondo New Map, Olawole Olafisoye, who spoke with Osrc, stressed the need for residents to take ownership of their environment. Mr. Olafisoye tasked relevant agencies of government to activate every mechanism to clamp down on violators of environmental laws. He hinted that the second phase of the agency's intervention in addressing gully erosion in some selected areas will commence after due process.
That of First Adetula in Owo, it was a devastated site before the intervention. Nobody, the resident could not, access the place. Vehicles were damaged, houses were damaged. But if you go to that particular place now, everything is smooth sailing. And when we got to Ijoka, Rutimvare, it was more devastating because houses were being swallowed. People died as a result of gully erosion, serious gully erosion. But if you go to Orisumbare now, I think the people are singing praises for our dear governor, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. Nimet warned, but our people have a culture of indiscriminate waste disposal. The concerned agencies, like I said earlier, we are working together to make sure that our environment is safe. Ministry of Environment, who is our mother or parent ministry, has to be up and doing now. The enforcement unit has to start working. Enforcement unit in Ministry of Environment. Waste Management Authority has to rise up to their billings. ZLA, that has been contracted to maintain or to dispose waste in Ondo State, has to get working. Ministry of Physical and Urban Development has to start giving unnecessary approvals for people who want to build on waterways. SEMA, State Emergency Management Agency, has to complement the efforts of these agencies that are working. Then, lastly, the local government authorities. It is their duties. The 18 local government authorities that we have in Ondo State has to start working.
Road users in Akure, the Ondo State capital, have pleaded with the federal government to fulfill the promise made over the dualization and reconstruction of the Akure-Ado-Ekiti road. They said the state of the road has worsened compared to 2 months ago when reconstruction work was flagged off. Omoriola Agbeji, who visited the project site, reports that contractors handling the Ondo State end was not on site as at press time.
It is exactly 2 months now that the former Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, and the then Minister of State for Transport, alongside other dignitaries, came to flag off the dualization and construction of this particular Akure-Ado-Ekiti road. According to them, the project will cost the federal government over 90 billion naira and to be completed within the space of 2 years. Meanwhile, some construction equipment are sited on site, but the pace of work is quite slow and the road is getting worse on a daily basis. Ever since the flag off, not much has been done from OSRC's findings, and the state of the road has worsened. OSRC's camera lens captured about 1 kilometer already bulldozed by the contractor. Some portions patched to pave way for the flag off 2 months ago have now become a death trap to residents and road users.
The work there is slow. I did not see them. I cannot say they were working there.
A lot of kini torí tí mọ́tò wa tó bá lọ báyìí tá bá máa fi dé àfi tá bá gbé lọ lé mechanic padà kó tó lè ṣiṣẹ́ padà.
Wọ́n mójútó ó yẹ kán ro tàwa mẹ̀kúnnù tá ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́nà yìí afẹ́kàn bá sí ọ̀nà yìí kó wà pa wàhálà tá ń ṣe bí ó ti pọ̀ jù.
They also accused the contractor handling the Ondo State portion of not living up to expectation.
Contractor from Ado, it seems as if they are even working over there than the people between Bandi in Ondo State. It's not, we cannot compare the system that we are working with the people that are working between the Bandi from this place. We want the government to please appeal to them. I believe the road has been flagged up, and when it was flagged up, we see reasonable people of very important personalities came here, then we were jubilating. But now we just see that the road it seems as to be abandoned.
1-2 trailer, it blocked the road. You go that quarry, that's what I'm saying. Where they give this road, say, maybe they do this road. You go out, you go call them, say, maybe they up, carry this 2-3 truck. Come on there, they no allow them, they no allow us. Say they no pay them from Abuja. Say they no pay them to do this road. We beg this our government, make they help us do this road.
Residents are optimistic that the present administration of President Tinubu will look into the situation. Omoriola Ngbeji, Osrc News.
The DG of Akure, Oba Aladetoyibo Aladelusi, has described the allegation by some farmers in Akpomulono that he is illegally grabbing land in the area as baseless and an attempt to soil his name. The Akure monarch said the ownership of the area belongs to his kingdom, challenging the farmers to tender documents to prove otherwise. Farmers at the community in Idonri local government area of Ondo State had issued a Save Our Soul message following the destruction of their farmlands by persons alleged to be carrying out the directive of the DG. Osrc's Zaid Aribisala has more on the situation.
Some farmers operating in Akpomulono, a community in Idonre local government area of Ondo State, issued a Save Our Soul message following alleged destruction of their farmlands. The farmers, most of whom had passed their youthful age, alleged the DG of Akure, Oba Aladetoyibo Aladelusi, as the mastermind, accusing the monarch of forceful illegal possession of lands outside his domain.
Our anybody.
While these farmers continue to count their losses, the DG of Akure has reacted to the allegations, which he described as baseless and ingenuine. Oba Aladelusi, who spoke through his chief press secretary, Michael Adeyayi, insisted that the land in question was rightly possessed by Akure Kingdom and backed up by a court judgment.
When you look at the map, there is nothing like Akpomulono. What we have is Akpomu. So we had some people trying to create a space for themselves outside the recognized Akpomu community. And Akpomu is a community, is an age-long community. In fact, it is the boundary between Akure and Ondo. So there is nowhere where you have Akpomulono. Though we've had people saying that, and they've contested it over time. If you check the 1953 judgment that ceded that land that on boundary dispute, actually gave that land to Akure. And when you check the map, what you see in the map is Akpomu and not Akpomulono. We are aware of the fact that some of our people from Idonri has decided to add Lono to it just to create a place for themselves as Akpomu, which belongs to Idonri. There can be two Akpomu. What we have there is Akpomu. And interestingly, Kabiyesi went to primary school in that same community. So that's to tell you there is a community that Akure is so familiar with.
Adeyeye would challenge the farmers or acclaimed owners to provide relevant documents or approach the court, said adequate compensation were paid to farmers before the developers commenced operation.
Land is not just being sold for the sake of selling it. It is for people who come genuinely, we want to invest in Akure and we want somewhere that is befitting. And let me shock you, Akure is not getting anything from it. It's not as if it's been sold, but what we told those who are interested in investing is that we have our people who are farming on this land. So when you are coming, What we want you to do is, number one, make sure you take at least 60% of our children on both skilled and unskilled labor for that company. Number two, you have to pay compensation. We talk to those who have been farming on the land, and then compensations are paid.
Findings have, however, shown that the state government has waded into the matter by setting up a panel to establish who owns the land among Akure, Idori and Isiko communities, as all are laying claim to the property. It is clear, however, that the last may not have been heard about the land ownership, as well as the lamentation of farmers who say their livelihoods have been taken away unjustly, and those who fear that one day soon their farm portion will be taken over. Finding a lasting resolution to the plights and concern of parties involved is expected to foster lasting peace. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
A member of the executives of the All Progressives Congress APC in Ondo State, Olalekun Adeyemo, has resigned as deputy youth leader of the party. Mr. Adeyemo said he has also withdrawn his membership of the party from his Unit 10 Ward 6 Ogbagi Akoko in Akoko Northwest Local Government area of the state. Adeyemo gave reason for his decision, saying he cannot continue to be part of oppressors in Nigeria. Reacting, the State Publicity Secretary of the party, Alex Kalejaye, expressed surprise over the development, adding that Olalekun was yet to notify the party leadership officially, as he was still at the State Working Committee meeting held on Tuesday in Akure. The Ashiwaju of Idoani Kingdom, Otumba Oladele Olakpeju, says the late Olori Enyeyeluwa of Idoani, Professor Omotayo Olutoye, indeed lived a life of monumental achievements with many firsts to her credit. Olakpeju said the late Dawn star shone so brightly that she was not only a trailblazer in overcoming the obstacles of girl-child education, but also nurtured and scanned a trailblazer in global medicine with Professor Oluyinka Olutoye, the world-acclaimed surgeon whose feat defied normal science. The retired director of Federal Ministry of Education posited that Nigeria is indeed blessed with our contributions in academics, community development, and service to God. The reason her demise is attracting the present global attention. Eminent Nigerians, including President Bola Tinubu, have eulogized the first female of African studies who passed at the age of 87. And finally, on sports, chairman of Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL, Gbenga Elegbeleye, has called on the Nigeria Referees Association to intensify efforts that will ensure matches of the 2023-2024 league season are fairly officiated. In a chat with Osrc, the career-born sports administrator said the body has a lot to learn to further reposition the league. He said there were errors here and there in the last season, but expressed the hope those errors will be corrected. Elegbeleye applauded GTI Asset Management and Trust Limited for its partnership with NPFL, which will invariably enhance improved performance in officiating. The 2023-2024 league season is scheduled to kick off in August. And with that sports story, we've come to the end of Sunshine Reports. Many thanks for watching. Good afternoon.